What's up, everybody? It's your boy Offensive the Sensei, and today I'm going to talk to you about a book that changed my life, and hopefully it would change yours. So the book that I want to talk to you guys about and to break it down is the book called The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck by Mark Manson. And when he says the subtle art of not giving a fuck, he really means it. And it's a counterintuitive way of looking at life to make your life better. So without further ado, let's get into it. So in this video, I'm gonna give 3 of my favorite takeaways from the book that I want to share with you guys. But I highly encourage each and every one of you, whoever's watching this video, to go pick up the book, especially if your life isn't going the way that you want it to go to. Hopefully that book is gonna give you some insight and change your brain. So with that being said, let's get on to the video. Now, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. I read this book when I was at my lowest point, and it really taught me a lot about not only myself, but how the world actually works in a weird way. Even though he doesn't speak about how the world works, he does go over some very interesting concepts. I'm just like, wow, I wish I knew this back when I was a kid, but unfortunately I didn't. So the first thing that he really talks about in the book is you have to give a fuck about something. Now that seems simple on the surface level, but we go deep in this channel. So he is talking about you have to give a fuck about something. And this fuck about something could be a job, it can be a relationship, it could be a materialistical thing, whatever it is. You as a human being have to give a fuck about something. And if you don't really give a fuck about the right things in life, then you're gonna choose to give a fuck about things that are not very good in life. So for example, let's say that you want to become a writer and you want to publish your first book. You have so many ideas, so many different concepts, so many things that you want to share, and you feel like, yo, I can put out a better project than what is out there right now. But unfortunately, you also have the belief that you are possibly gonna fail, or people are not gonna like your book, or people are gonna hate on your book, or it's not gonna be well received by critics. You have all of these beliefs in your brain, and what ends up happening is that when you start telling your brain these things, it will ultimately give up. So when it gets to that point, that's when you start to give a fuck about something else. Okay, well, shoot, I've always wanted to be a writer. I have it in my dream, but I don't want to put the book out for publishing. You know what? I'm broke and poor. I need a real job. Let me not go after my dreams. Let me go get a real job. Quote unquote real job, because all jobs are real. It's whatever belief that was bestowed upon you growing up is the reality that you are choosing to live by. So we're gonna get to that in a little bit here, but I want to, stay on this point right here, which is when you are not choosing your dream, you will choose something else. And maybe it might be something that you ultimately like to do in the long run, but I'm gonna speak only to those who are dealing with something that they don't want to do every day in their lives. I'm talking to people who hate their jobs and hate their lifestyle. This is for you guys. So you choose that lifestyle. Let's say that you are an accountant, right? An accountant, they make money, right? Unfortunately, being an accountant makes you very stressful, and it makes you very, deep down inside hating yourself because you don't really like the job. So you don't really like the job, so now you become very distasteful, you become very negative, and then you're choosing things to give a fuck about that are not important. So when you are doing something that you don't like to do for 8 hours of your life, that's 1/3 of your day. that you're doing something that you don't love to do. So what ends up happening is that now you have that negative energy and you're taking it with you outside of your workplace. And then you start to spaz out, get mad at somebody in traffic. You get mad at this cashier because your coupon is expired and he is saying, you cannot use your coupon here, ma'am. It's expired, but no, you didn't want to deny you that. You're getting mad at him for whatever freaking reason. Like, how could it be expired? Can I just have it anyway? You guys don't give a shit about us. Life is already hard. The government is against us. Everything is hard. And you start spiraling down to that victim mentality. And I like what Mark Manson, he used an example in this book talking about how, you know what, when you are acting like everything is okay in life, but really it's not, you are gonna blow up over the smallest things. And that's where you need to check yourself. That's where I had to check myself and come up with that awareness, because you've been avoiding your dream life, Offense. You've been avoiding going after what you really want to go after in life, and then you're choosing something that you don't like to do. And now the smallest thing, it could be like a speck of dust on the floor. I'm sure that we know these people in life where they spaz out over, why is there one speck of dust on the floor? I've been around people like that. And what I've noticed is that, deep down, and this is what happens when you break somebody down, and I mean in a deep way, all right? In a way that you get to understand where they're actually coming from. And where they're coming from is that they don't love their life, unfortunately. And that's the truth, because they choose to be in a relationship, they choose to be in a job that is not making them healthy mentally. So you're a writer, an aspiring writer, but you're working these jobs that are not fulfilling you, and you're getting mad over the smallest things. Now your energy changes. So that is one point that I want to get across to you guys. And one way to solve this issue is to ask yourself, what am I really giving a fuck about? Because sometimes we are giving a fuck about something and not even realizing it. Let's say that you are somebody that, let's go back to that point with the writer. So the writer, he wants to be a best-selling author. He wants to put his ideas, his story out there for everybody to galvanize and have a good time to watch and feel good. He wants to put that stuff out there. He feels like he has something to offer to the world. He gives a fuck about that. Let's say that he gives a fuck about that. But what is preventing him from going after it is rejection. It not being critically received well, and that is more frightening, and he gives more a fuck about that than giving a fuck about putting out what he wants to put out. Unfortunately, he doesn't know that deep down that he's choosing the value of other people's opinions. And you know what happens when you choose the value of other people's opinions way too much? Well, you're gonna become a victim, and you're gonna become an unhappy person for the rest of your life. The truth is that you cannot control what people are gonna think about you. You can't control that. But one thing's for certain, you only got one life to live. As far as I know, you only got one life to live. So why not go for it all in? And you have to choose something to really give a fuck about. And if you don't choose something to really give a fuck about, then guess what? Your brain is automatically going to come up with something. Even if you don't believe it, even if you don't think it's going to choose something to give a fuck about, you have to give a fuck about something. Even somebody who stays at home and watches videos all day is choosing to give a fuck about something. Now, is it making his life fulfilled, and is it making him happy in the long run? Probably not. because deep down inside, probably he wants something else. He has something else to offer to the world. Or maybe he doesn't have. When you don't give a fuck about something meaningful in life, you're gonna become somebody very miserable. And then you're gonna spread that misery. You're gonna say it in front of your spouse. You're gonna say it in front of your, let's say, your co-workers. It's everywhere. That misery loves company. Misery loves company. And it's kind of hard to fake being in a good state of mind. It's going to be very hard. All right, you can smile your way through it, but deep down inside, you are suffering, and you're not suffering for the right reasons. So one way that you can change this is actually asking yourself the question, every day when I wake up in the morning, what would I love to do? And that's a question that I've always asked people. When I was doing Uber and Lyft, I was people's therapist. And I've been with so many people, had so many deep talks with people about achieving dreams and what they are unable to obtain and why they cannot obtain it. And you have to ask yourself, what is gonna make you happy? What are you willing to suffer for? Which Mark Manson mentions in this book. You have to choose something to suffer for. The people who go to the gym, they enjoy the suffering of going through painful muscle exercises and going through the pain of after workout burnout, and also keeping a nice workout routine. They love the suffering of that. It's like the mountain climbing analogy, where there's a lot of people who want to be at the top of the mountain, but nobody wants to suffer through the climbing. Everybody wants to become a CEO of a company, but nobody wants to, hardly anybody wants to go and suffer through the long nights, the days after that they have to work on something that they didn't do the day prior. You know, a lot of things, losing a lot of money to get where they want to be. Nobody wants to go through those trials and tribulations. And you can apply this to anything in life. You have to choose something that you're willing to suffer for. And Mark Manson really says that in this book. And he says it in the most, I swear, most detailed way that it made my brain click. And there's a lot of, oh shit moments in this book that you're gonna see. Another thing is this. Second, you are always choosing. Every hour of every minute of every second, you are always choosing. And what you decide to choose, you have to live with the consequence, whether the consequence are good and bad. I like how he talks about this in the book, because honestly, there are so many people out there who feel like they don't have a choice. Oh, the government, they're not providing jobs. Oh, there's no work. Oh, my kids, I don't have enough time to do this thing. You know what? No, I'm not gonna go after being a guitarist. I'm just gonna, work these 9-to-5 jobs because I have no choice. And when you have no choice, you are ultimately a victim. All right? You're a straight up victim. And your brain is going to follow whatever you believe. And the more and more you believe in it, the stronger the neural connection is going to be. And it's going to be harder and harder to break out of that cycle, because as years goes on, it becomes stronger and stronger, which is very important that you go out and get this book. Again, I'm not sponsoring this book at all, but go out and get this book and read it and take notes and really dive deep into it, okay? Because there's a lot of things that are going to be from my experience, it's gonna make you cry, and it's gonna make you be like, man, my values, everything that I thought, it's not working, and it doesn't work, and it's not good. I'm not gonna be able to help people because my values are in the wrong place. So you are always choosing, and if you don't choose to change your life, then who is there to blame? There is nobody to blame. Now, one way that you can ask yourself, am I choosing to do the right thing or not? Well, first, how about you choose to go out and read a book on how to become a better person? Read a book on how to change your habits. Read a book like The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. Read a book, and this book is very good, Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill. Read books on making yourself better, because if things are not working and it's a cycle over and over again in your life, then it's time that you have to look at the mirror and say that, okay, I'm the problem, and I have to figure out what this problem is, or else my life is going to be in shambles, and the worst possible news is going to have to be broken to me. And honestly, I don't want none of you guys to get to that point, because I was at my lowest point and it sucked. It was the worst that could ever, like, I was unable to eat food. I was having headaches, tension headaches all the time. Like, I couldn't even go after my career. I couldn't go after my dreams, because I've set myself up to go through all of these panic attacks that put me here. And these panic attacks came from my beliefs. And these beliefs I've been fighting with for the longest time. And this book really does open up your mindset. So you are always choosing. You are choosing to watch this video. Now, it's not my responsibility that whatever you take in from this video, you have to go and do it. No, it's your choice. You can take the concepts that I'm giving in this video, or you can throw them away. You can forget about it, get rid of it, anything. And that's the power of being a human being, because ultimately, if you are a believer in God, you have to ask yourself the question, why would God bless somebody with whatever they're praying for when they have a victim mentality? Why would God give you a blessing that you are not ready to receive? If you have a victim mentality and keep on saying there are no jobs available, or Trump is taking over the world, or, you know, the Democrats ruined the whole entire economy, then honestly, like, I don't know how you can be a believer of God and believe in those things also, because why would God bless somebody like that? I'm not saying that he wouldn't bless you, but you have to ask the question, why would he bless you with something of that responsibility? Whether it be money, whether it's going after your dream, whether it's helping people. And God gives you the signs. Whatever it is in life, it will give you the signs. And it only changes when you change yourself. Number 3 is values and beliefs. Values and beliefs. And values and beliefs are something that was either given to you or you chosen it. Now, I'm assuming that you clicked on this video because you are seeking to change something. You change your beliefs, change your insight, or you just want to learn something new. Great. Now, let's say this. Are you somebody that is living a miserable life right now? Ask yourself that question. Are you living your best life right now? Chances are you clicked on the video that your life is not going well. You want to change. That's what it is. That's why you clicked on this video, but no need to fear. I'm going to give you guys a quick I'm gonna give you guys a quick summary over beliefs and values. And one thing about beliefs and values is that they are given to you subconsciously. You don't know what you really value until you actually sit down and ask yourself, what do I really value in my life? Do I value other people's opinions over what I want to become in life? Do I value what my parents have to say when they say, oh, you have to go get a real job, over what I want to do in my life? Do I value staying in this toxic relationship against my own respectable means, just because I have to be a good wife, I have to serve my king and whatever, and happy wife, happy life? But honestly, guys, it's not working. That's the truth. And he mentions this in a book that you are going to have to change. Now, the values that you have been bestowed upon, that you've been living with every single day of your life up until this point, is something that has been given to you either from your parents, from somebody who took care of you, anybody, somebody gave you that value. Now the question is that value serving you? Let's use an example of what he said in the book. He said there was a guy who was short. He was like 5'2" or something like that. And he always wanted to be in a relationship, but he keeps on talking to the bartender and saying to her, well, I cannot find anybody. And the bartender is like, why not? Because all women date tall guys. All women date tall guys. And that really puts him in a disadvantage. And that was a value that he had. Now, was it a value that he knows that he has? Probably not. But what's scary is that it's a value that he was choosing. And you are always choosing, no matter what. Question is, are you living a happy life right now? Are you happy with where your life is right now? Now, don't tell me yes. Don't tell me no. Don't answer me that question. You have to answer yourself, because if you are not being honest with yourself, the only person that you're hurting between me and you is yourself. All right? In the long run. Because I could be like, oh, well, she said that she's happy. He said that everything is fine. He says everything is going good in life. But in the long run, in 5 years, once you hit that tipping point and you blow up or you receive that horrible news, that's when you're going to come out and say, no, I've always been living in shambles. Well, honestly, that was your opportunity to become open and honest with somebody. And that's something that I'm also working on too. I'm not perfect, but at the same time, my life has been a whole lot better by reading this book and taking the freaking concepts and applying it to my life. Once I took those concepts and applying it to my life, my whole entire life changed. So the guy who is short and he has a values with women, he doesn't know that he was choosing this value. He just believed it. Guess what ends up happening? He thinks that all women are gold diggers, all women are horrible people, they don't care about your feelings. Like, he just becomes very negative towards women, and he starts talking shit towards women because he has this belief that he is too short, and he believes that all women date tall guys. The problem is that his value wasn't helping him. It wasn't helping him at all. He needs to believe, and this is whatever you're applying to, whatever you're going through in life, you can apply this to. The value that you see that is not helping you towards your desired reality, you need to rewire it or change the value itself. So the guy in the book, the short guy, ultimately could have chose the value of, I want to be with a woman who loves me for who I am. Bam. That's a new value. That's a new value that he could take upon. And now he has something to do with that value. Loves me for who I am. So am I somebody that is very good to be around? Am I fun to be around? Am I fun to be around myself? Do I love what I'm doing every single day? And can I share that with somebody else? Because that's a question that you need to ask yourself before you go into a relationship. Are you happy with yourself? Because you can only give what you have inside. So there it is. So he could choose that belief that I want to be with somebody who loves me for me. All right. Not this ideal perception that I want to put onto them, because we know what happens after the honeymoon phase. After 3 months, the real person comes up and then the breakup happens. All right. I've seen it way too many times in my life. And so you can change your values. Now, there are some side effects to doing that. And the side effect is you're going to feel uncomfortable. Very uncomfortable. I am not kidding. I felt so uncomfortable when I first put up my YouTube video and I had to talk into the camera and look at my face and hear my voice and face those insecurities that I have. It was hard. It was so uncomfortable, but I had to do it to get to the other side, because in the book, it goes more in depth. So go grab the book, because it's going to open up your brain and have you do it. And I had to face that. And honestly, I don't think I can be any happier than where I am in life right now. Like I have so many views on my other YouTube channel, and I just the numbers is something that I have been dreaming about. Now I have other dreams that I want to do in my life, but being a YouTuber was one of them. Being an entertainer was one of them. And once I saw how many views I got, I was like, man, I remember the 15-year-old kid that was just like watching PewDiePie and just being like, I want to entertain people this way. I want to make people laugh. And I'm like, how am I going to get these numbers if I'm too insecure and care too much about what other people think about? And if you see anybody that is doing so well in life, it's because they already went through all the suffering to get to where they are. All right. So you could change your values, change what you have to give a fuck about, and also believe that you are always choosing. Because I know that you want to become a better person. I know you want to have that desired reality, and you're a good person. I know that. I can see you. Look at you smiling. Now, I believe that you could become this person, and that whatever you believe in, the universe, God, whatever it is, I am here. He probably sent me to do this video to have you watch and listen to and take the sign. Take the sign, change your life. What do you have to lose? All right. So a quick summary of what we have spoken about, because this book really is the fundamental book to starting your life. I would say if you had to redo your whole life, I would say start off with this book. Start off with this book. It will change your life. All right. So first, you have to give a fuck about something. Number two, you are choosing everything. You have the power to choose. You have free will, whether it's good consequences or bad consequences. Every choice that you make is getting to you that consequence. Number three, values and beliefs. There are so many more chapters in the book, but I'm running out of time in this video. I just wanted to get out this video to you guys because, I want to make you guys' day better, and I want you guys to change your lives for the better, because this book really did change my life, and I couldn't be any happier. It changed my friendships, it changed my career, it changed everything. And that's what you're gonna have to go through when you are reading this book. And be okay with being uncomfortable. Be okay with being uncomfortable. It's going to hurt. I'm not joking when I say that. It's going to hurt. And you're gonna be teary-eyed, you're gonna cry, because you're gonna be like, man, I had it all wrong this whole time. But remember, you can change. You can change starting now. It's your boy Double O. You already know, Ofensei the Sensei. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. And check out, my Patreon. I just now started out with the Patreon. Make sure to be on the lookout for that. And I'm going to be dropping content hopefully every single week. So I'll see you guys on the next video. Baby!